In this video, I'm going to look at what happens to an option position when the stock price moves, and we're going to discuss delta hedging. So I've got my spreadsheet here. I'm going to clear the positions, and what we're going to do is make the stock start at 100, go to 99, and then back up to 100. So let's put an option position in. So we'll book an option. We're going to book 1,000 call options at fair value. So they're a strike of 100, maturity 1 year, click OK, and we can see in our portfolio summary the options have gone in. They're worth $10,450.58 or $10.45 each. We have paid for them, negative $10,450.58. These have a delta, 636.83 shares. Now I'm going to update my chart. And we've got a chart of the portfolio value versus the stock price. And so we can look at this, and one of the things we see is if the stock price goes down a lot, the options become worthless. So if the stock price goes down to 50, these options go from being worth $10,000 to being worth $2. The payment stays the same. We paid $10,450.58 for these options, which means we've lost $10,450, which is what this line approaches on the left. So now we can look at our portfolio summary. The nice thing here is we can see what happens because we've set this up so that the present value of our portfolio is 0. So let's make the stock. Here's our price. It's at 100. Let's make it go down to 99. We lose $627.37. If we think about it, we're on this chart, on the diagonal part of this chart, and so when the market goes down, we lose money, in this case, $627.37. And if we're lucky and the stock goes back up to 100, we make our money back. Now I want to look at what happens if we delta hedge. So let's book a trade, shares, and if you'll notice, when I book my shares, it pops up the right number of shares. So it pre-enters for me the right number of shares so that my delta will become 0. The price per share is 100, and the settlement date is today, 12th of April, 2020. So we're trading these shares right now. I click OK, and what we see is the delta has gone to 0. Again, I'm going short shares, 636 shares. How do I do that? I borrow them from somebody and I sell them. So I borrowed them from somebody, I sold them. I sold them for $63,683. So that appears in my payments. My net payment, of course, now is I bought the options, paid some money, sold the shares, received some money. So net, I have $53,232. And the shares is a negative number, negative 63,683, and that represents the liability, the shares that I owe to somebody else. Now if I look, my delta is now 0. I'll update my chart, and now we can see the chart. This is a pretty nice chart, right? We are sitting right here at the bottom. The delta is 0. Remember, the delta is the first derivative, or the slope of this line. The slope being 0 means that it's horizontal. The slope being 0 means that we've either got a minimum or relative minimum or local minimum or local maximum. In this case, it's a local minimum. Again, note, because we've done everything at fair value, the present value of my portfolio is still 0. So let's move our stock price. Stock goes down to 99. We make money. Not very much, but we make money. And we can see on this chart, we've gone down the chart a little bit from the very bottom to the left, meaning we make money, $9.46. Now, of course, if the stock goes back to 100, we lose our $9.46. So let's do something else. The stock is at 99. We can notice our delta is negative 19.01, which is why if the stock goes up, our delta, our portfolio behaves as if we're short shares. The stock goes up, we're going to lose money. What's our strategy? Our strategy is to hedge the delta. So let's book a trade, shares. Again, what does it tell us to do? Buy 19.01 shares. The price per share is 99, which is the current price. Click OK. And now we've bought those shares, and our delta is now 0. Present value is still 946 because we're doing everything at fair value. Let's go back to 100. Present value, 19.01. What does this tell us to do? It tells us to sell 19.01 shares. So let's do that. Now our delta is 0 again. Now let's think for a second about what we've done. We sold 636 shares. We bought the options. The options were worth $10,450. The stock went to 99, back up to 100, so the options are still worth $10,450. We sold 636 shares, 636.83 shares. Those were a liability, negative 63,683 when the stock was at 100. Price went down to 99, back up to 100, same liability. And then we did 2 additional trades. When the stock was at 99, we bought 19.01 shares. When the stock was at 100, we sold 19.01 shares. 19.01 shares bought at 99, sold at 100. We made $1 per share, or $19.01. And that money is locked in. We now have made 1901 no matter what. If the stock went back down to 99 and back up to 100, and we followed the same strategy, we would lock in another $19 and a penny, and so on and so on. Every time, if we are long options, every time the market moves, we are meant to delta hedge, and we lock in a little bit of money. Again, what happens practically? The market moves, we move along our curve, our value curve with respect to spot. Every time the market moves, we make a little bit of money, rebalance our hedge, now we're back at that 0 point. We don't care which way the market moves, and so on and so forth. So this is a really nice strategy, and this appears, at least at first glance, to be the direction you want to be in an option position. In a separate video, and you should do this as an exercise, you should think about what happens if instead of buying the options, you sell the options.